Hi friends, the story of Utanga and Lord Krishna after the war of Kurukshetra is indeed very interesting. Once, when the great battle of Kurukshetra was over, Lord Krishna bade farewell to the Pandavas and left for Dwarka. On his way, he met his a very old Brahmin friend. His name was Utanga. Krishna stopped and alighted from his stupendous chariot and wished the Brahmin Utanga, delighted at the sight of the mighty Krishna, returned his greetings and proceeded to make the usual enquiries about his health and welfare of his relatives. He inquired if Krishna's cousins, the Pandavas and the Kauravas, loved one another as brothers and whether they all were flourishing well enough. The innocent Brahmin had not heard about the great battle of Mahabharat that had led to a vast devastation, and it was already fought and it was over. Lord Krishna was astounded by this question of his, and for a moment he stood silent, not knowing what to say in reply. He then softly narrated what all had happened, how a great battle had been fought, where almost all the Kauravas had been killed or exterminated. Upon hearing the story of Utanga, Utanga got very angry, he got very upset. He retorted at Krishna, telling him forcefully that he had failed in his duties and warned him to be prepared to receive his curse. In reply, the Lord just smiled and asked him not to use up the fruits of his hard-earned penances. He then proceeded to show Utanga his Vishwaroop, primarily to explain to him the message of Bhagavad Gita, just as he had done it for Arjuna. After this explanation of Krishna, Utanga recovered his calm, and with that, the Lord Krishna was at ease. He told the Brahmin to ask for any boon that he desired. So Utanga said that after having witnessed you, my Lord Krishna, in your universal form, there isn't anything left in this world to be desired for. But when Krishna insisted, Utanga relented by saying that he should be able to find water whenever he felt thirsty in his long journeys. The Lord thus blessed him and went on his way. Later, when Utanga was passing through a desert, he felt very thirsty and remembered the boon he had received from Lord Krishna. He decided to make use of it. The very moment a Nishad appeared before him, attired in rags, he had 5 dogs in leash, and an animal skin water bag strapped on his shoulder. He offered the bamboo spout of his water bag to the Brahmin to drink from. Utanga stared at the man in disgust and told him he was not thirsty and asked him to go away. Having said this, he reapproached the Lord in his mind for a boon that he had granted him. The outcast, meanwhile, kept pressing the fastidious Brahmin Utanga over and over again to quench his thirst, but it only made Utanga more and more angry, and he refused to drink the water. Finally, the outcast disappeared from there. Observing the strange disappearance of the Nishad, the Brahmin reflected, who was he? He could not have been a real Nishad. it was certainly my test where I had blundered miserably. I rejected the holy water offered by the outcast and proved myself to be an arrogant fool. Utanga was now in great anguish when a moment later Krishna himself appeared before him with his conch shell and discus, that is his Sudarshan Chakra. Purshottama explained Utanga, was it right of you to have sent an outcast to offer unclean water to a Brahmin like me? Was this kind on your part? Asked Utanga in a bitter tone. Lord replied, smiling, O Utanga, it was only for your sake I had asked Indra, Lord Indra, to take Amrita and give it to you as water. So God, in other ways, in his own way, had offered Amrit to Utanga. So Lord replied, smiling, O Utanga, it was only for you, for your sake, I had asked Indra to take Amrit and give it to you as water. He said he would on no account give nectar to a mortal. Mortal means a person who is likely to die. But I prevailed upon him and he agreed to do so only if I allowed him to test you in the form of a Chandal. I accepted the challenge believing you had attained that stage of understanding and wisdom, but you have made me suffer defeat at the hands of Indra. The story is, friends, this story is from Mahabharata, and the moral of the story is, although the Brahmin asked the Lord only for water, Lord gave him nectar, Amrit. Lord gave him Amrit out of his causeless mercy. The Lord always cares for us more than we do for ourselves, and we just need to have the vision to understand His mercy. Goodbye and see you soon.